There is a version of your life that is already possible right now, today, with no new resources, no new connections, and no sudden stroke of luck. The only thing standing between who you are and who you could become is a single morning. One morning a week, the first one. And the strangest part of all of this is that the most successful people alive already know this secret. They have been living it quietly for years. And not one of them woke up one day and stumbled into greatness by accident. They designed it, deliberately and carefully, starting from the very first hours of their Monday. This is not motivational talk. This is science. And by the time you finish watching this, you will never look at a Monday the same way again.
Let us start with a man named Marcus. He was 34 years old, working a job that paid him just enough to stay comfortable and just little enough to keep him frustrated. Every Sunday night, he felt a familiar heaviness settle over him, a low dread that crept in around 7 in the evening and sat on his chest until he finally fell asleep. Every Monday morning, he would hit the snooze button 3 times, scroll through his phone for 20 minutes before even getting out of bed, skip breakfast because he was already running late, and walk into his day already behind. He did this for 6 years, not because he was lazy, not because he lacked intelligence, but because nobody had ever told him that the Monday morning he was living through was quite literally programming his entire week, his mindset, his hormones, and over time, the direction of his entire life.
Here is what the science says, and this part is important. Researchers at the Association for Psychological Science published findings on what they call the fresh start effect. The study discovered that people are dramatically more motivated to pursue their goals right at the beginning of a new time period. A new year, a new month, a birthday, and yes, a new week. Monday is not just a day. Psychologically speaking, Monday is a temporal landmark, a mental checkpoint where your brain naturally draws a line between who you were last week and who you can be this week. Your mind is already primed and ready for change every single Monday morning. The tragedy is that most people waste this biological and psychological window by treating Monday like a punishment instead of a gift. The first thing you need to understand is that how your Sunday ends determines how your Monday begins. This is not a small observation. It is foundational. Researchers studying productivity and habit formation have consistently found that people who spend even 20 to 30 minutes on Sunday evening preparing for the week ahead experience significantly lower anxiety on Monday morning and make far better decisions throughout the day. Think about what that means for a moment. The version of you that walks into Monday prepared is literally operating with a different brain than the version of you that walks in chaotic. Preparation is not about being rigid. It is about reducing what psychologists call decision fatigue, the mental exhaustion that comes from making too many small choices too early in the day. When your clothes are laid out, your meals are thought through, and your top 3 priorities are written down, your brain does not have to burn its best energy on logistics. It saves that fire for what actually matters. So, what does a Sunday evening reset actually look like in practice? It is simpler than you think. Start by doing a brain dump. Grab a notebook or your phone and write out everything swirling around in your head. Every task, every worry, everything you need to follow up on, every goal you have been putting off. Get it out of your mind and onto paper. The moment you do this, something remarkable happens. Studies in cognitive neuroscience show that when we externalize our thoughts by writing them down, the brain stops working overtime to remember them, freeing up mental bandwidth for creativity and focus. After the brain dump, circle the 3 most important things you want to accomplish in the week ahead. Not 10 things, not a list that fills an entire page, just 3. These become your anchors for the week. Now we arrive at Monday morning itself, and this is where the real transformation lives. The first 30 minutes after you wake up on a Monday are among the most powerful minutes of your entire week. Neuroscientists explain that cortisol, your body's natural alertness hormone, peaks in the morning right after waking. This cortisol surge is your body handing you a free window of focused attention. Most people immediately destroy this window by reaching for their phone. The moment you open social media, check emails, or start reading news notifications, you have handed your peak mental energy to someone else's agenda. You have let the outside world colonize your best brain hours before you have even brushed your teeth. This is one of the most expensive habits a person can have, and it costs nothing in money, but everything in potential.
The most intentional and successful people on earth protect those first 30 to 60 minutes fiercely. What do they do with them? They begin with silence. Not complicated or intimidating meditation, but simply a few minutes of quiet intention. Studies on mindfulness practices have shown that even 5 to 10 minutes of deliberate stillness in the morning reduces the stress response for the rest of the day. You do not need a meditation app or a particular kind of setup. You simply need to sit, breathe, and ask yourself one single question. What kind of person do I want to be today? That question alone, asked sincerely every Monday morning, begins to reshape the neural pathways in your brain over time. It is the difference between living reactively and living with intention. After your moment of stillness, it is time to move your body, and this step is non-negotiable if you want your Monday to shift from exhausting to energizing. Research has found that even moderate exercise in the morning, something as simple as a brisk 20-minute walk, boosts brain power for the rest of the day. Exercise on a Monday morning is not just about physical health. It is about sending a signal to yourself. When you move your body before the demands of the day begin, you are telling your nervous system that you are in control of your time and your choices. That signal reverberates through everything that follows. Your posture changes, your confidence shifts, your decision-making sharpens, and the people who interact with you that day can sense something in you that they may not be able to name, but that is unmistakably present. What you consume on Monday morning matters just as much as when you consume it. And here we are talking about both what you eat and what you feed your mind. Many people skip breakfast because of the rush, or grab something sugary and fast because convenience wins. But your brain runs on glucose, and the quality of that fuel matters enormously to how you think, feel, and perform. A protein-rich breakfast, something with eggs, Greek yogurt, nuts, or a whole food smoothie, provides a slow and steady release of energy that sustains focus across the morning. Meanwhile, what you feed your mind in those early hours is equally powerful. Instead of headlines designed to trigger emotional reactions, spend 10 minutes reading something that builds you up. A page from a book about personal growth, a chapter from a biography of someone you admire. What you absorb in the morning becomes the lens through which you see the entire day. Let us talk about something most productivity conversations leave out entirely, and that is the power of gratitude as a practical Monday morning tool. Gratitude is not a soft concept or a cliche. It is a neurological rewiring practice with measurable outcomes. Research in positive psychology has demonstrated repeatedly that people who practice intentional gratitude experience higher levels of motivation, stronger emotional resilience, and greater satisfaction with their daily lives. On Monday mornings specifically, starting with gratitude shifts your brain out of threat mode and into a mental state where you are more creative, more open to opportunity, and more connected to the people around you. Write down 3 specific things you are grateful for. Not generic things, specific ones. The fact that you slept in a safe place, the sound of your coffee brewing. Specificity is what makes gratitude work at the neurological level. After gratitude, write your intention for the week. This is different from a to-do list. A to-do list is a collection of tasks. An intention is a statement of who you are choosing to be. It might look like this. This week, I choose to show up present in my work. Or, this week, I am committed to following through on what I start. Psychologist Carol Dweck, whose landmark research on the growth mindset has influenced education, sports, and business worldwide, found that people who believe their character and abilities can grow are significantly more likely to face challenges with resilience rather than retreat. When you write an intention every Monday morning, you are exercising your growth mindset muscle. You are telling your brain, I am not fixed. I am in motion. And that single belief changes everything about how you respond to the obstacles the week will inevitably bring.
Here's something that nobody talks about when they discuss Monday mornings, and it is this: the first person you are kind to on a Monday should be yourself. So many people begin their week already in self-criticism mode, lying in bed, cataloging everything they did not do last week, every goal they missed, every promise they broke. And while self-reflection has value, self-punishment has none. Research in self-compassion has shown that people who treat themselves with the same kindness they would offer a good friend bounce back from failure faster, set more ambitious goals, and ultimately perform at higher levels than those who are harsh self-critics. Monday is not the day to punish yourself for last week. Monday is the day to forgive last week and build this one better. The concept that makes all of these habits work is something behavioral researchers call habit stacking, attaching a new behavior to an existing one and using that existing habit as an anchor that automatically triggers the new one. When you already make coffee every Monday morning, you stack your gratitude journaling onto that moment. When you already take a shower, you stack your intention setting onto that ritual. When you already put on your shoes, you stack a 10-minute walk onto that action. This is how small things become permanent things. Research published in the European Journal of Social Psychology found that it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. But when you habit stack, when you link new behaviors to existing anchors, that process becomes dramatically smoother and far more likely to last through the weeks when motivation fades. One of the most overlooked dimensions of a powerful Monday is the social one. Human beings are deeply social creatures, and the people you choose to engage with first on a Monday morning carry enormous influence over your energy and mindset for the hours that follow. This is not about avoiding people who are struggling. It is about being intentional rather than passive. If the first conversation you have on Monday morning is a complaint session or an anxiety-driven exchange, that emotional tone will color everything that follows. Conversely, if you reach out to someone who energizes you, a quick encouraging text, a word of affirmation to someone on your team, you immediately activate what social psychologists call positive social contagion. Good energy is as transferable as negative energy. Choose deliberately which one you spread first thing Monday morning. Now here's the section most people skip straight to, and that is the actual work. What do you do when you sit down and face everything on your plate? The answer from every high performer and every productivity researcher who has studied this seriously is the same. Do your most important work first. Not your emails, not your administrative tasks, not the quick wins that feel productive but move nothing forward. Your most important work. The thing that, if you did it and nothing else today, would make the week feel meaningful. Before your energy depletes, before the distractions accumulate, before the day starts making demands of you, you sit down and work on what matters most. Even 30 minutes of deep, focused, undistracted work on your single most important task creates a momentum on Monday morning that is genuinely difficult to stop once it starts. Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman's research on brain performance adds another layer to this understanding. His work highlights the importance of sunlight exposure within the first 30 minutes of waking, not just for mood regulation, but for the timing of dopamine release throughout the day. Dopamine is the brain's drive and motivation chemical. When you get morning sunlight, move your body, and engage in meaningful work early, you are essentially setting the timing of your brain's reward system for all the hours that follow. You become more focused, more motivated, and more capable of sustained effort as the morning unfolds. Contrast this with starting your day on a screen, in dim indoor light, sedentary and passive, and you begin to understand why some people always feel like they are pushing against a current, while others seem to move through their weeks with ease. There is a deeper truth underneath all of this, and it is the one that ties everything together. Monday is not just the first day of the week. Psychologically, emotionally, and practically, Monday is where your life is built or where it slowly erodes. The person who drifts through Monday tends to drift through the week. The person who owns Monday tends to own the week. And the person who consistently, week after week, shows up to Monday with intention, with movement, with quiet, with gratitude, and with a willingness to do their most meaningful work first, that person does not just have better weeks, they build a better life.
not because Monday is magic, but because the discipline of beginning well, done repeatedly over months and years, compounds into something truly extraordinary. Small choices, made consistently, are the only material out of which remarkable lives are ever actually built. Let us bring Marcus back for a moment. He did not overhaul his entire life overnight. He did not quit his job, move to another city, or start waking up at 4 in the morning. He did something far more modest and far more powerful. He changed one Monday. He set his clothes out on Sunday night. He put his phone on the other side of the room so he could not reach it from bed. He drank a glass of water before his coffee. He sat quietly for 5 minutes and wrote 3 things he was grateful for and 1 intention for his week. That was all. That was the entire change. And yet that one Monday changed his Tuesday. That Tuesday changed his Wednesday. By Friday, Marcus had done more meaningful work than he had in the previous 3 weeks combined. Not because he suddenly became more talented, because he had finally learned how to set himself up instead of set himself back.
2 years after that first intentional Monday, Marcus started his own business, hired 2 people, and moved into a home he was actually proud of. And when people asked him how he turned things around, he always said the same thing. It started on a Sunday night when he decided to lay out his clothes and put his phone across the room. Not a dramatic overhaul, just a better Monday. One decision, repeated with consistency, until his life rearranged itself around who he was choosing to become.
And so here is the invitation. This coming Monday, before you reach for your phone, before you rush into the noise, before you let the world define your worth and your direction, take 10 minutes, just 10. Sit quietly. Write 3 things you are grateful for. Write 1 intention for your week. Drink a glass of water. Step outside for 5 minutes of sunlight and movement. Then sit down and give 15 uninterrupted minutes to the one thing that matters most, before anything else gets your attention. Do that one Monday, then do it the next one, then the one after that. Within 6 weeks, you will not recognize the landscape of your own life from where you are standing now. The research supports it, the science backs it, and the people who have already chosen to begin this way will quietly confirm it with everything their lives have become. The version of you that you have been waiting to meet is on the other side of a morning you have not taken seriously yet. Start there. Start this Monday.